beautiful, foggy December morning. I'm the Reverend Dr. Beth Johnson. My pronouns are she, they, and I want to welcome you to this space, and our worship associate, Tony, is going to be welcoming you as well. But I'm just going to invite you to, take a breath with me and kind of arrive. I like to walk around and greet people before we start, and I didn't get a chance to do that. So greetings, 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 love, love, love. I'm happy to be sharing this service with Tony Metters, our worship associate, Jamie Passman, our music director, and Matt Brown, who is actually our newest member, but a longtime Unitarian Universalist who has a passion for nurturing people on their spiritual journeys. You're going to hear from Matt this morning. Matt has been involved in pastoral care. He's been involved in small group ministries, Soul Matters Covenant circles, and today this is part 2 in our service of living love through the practice of listening and the practice of presence. And you'll hear more about our plans later on. So I wanted to say thank you to Matt for being with us this morning and sharing the time with us. So, beloveds, this is a time to gather in, to just be, to gather ourselves from the various parts of our day and the various parts of our lives, the various parts of ourselves. I'm going to invite us to sing. The songs in the service are a through line from our services on listening and our other service on practicing presence. So you're going to see that there's a through line through the music and the message. So I'm just going to invite you to sing the song, Come, Come, Whoever You Are. It's a chant ascribed to Rumi, and it's an invitation to come whoever you are. Now we're going to do this as a round. So we're going to sing it through once, and then we're going to sing it through twice as a round. So we have our round leaders here. There's Matt and Carol and our director, choir director, Julia. And Darren's going to help come lead. We can do this. So I'm going to invite you to rise, embody your spirit. And as you're singing this song, just be thinking about coming and whoever you are, wherever you are on your journey. Did so well without me putting the words up. Congratulations. Sorry about that. You got it, Tony?
Yeah, I got it. Good morning. I'm Tony Metters. I'm an African-American male. My pronouns are he and him. Welcome to this place of peace, justice, and hope. In this Unitarian Universalist congregation, we affirm no matter who you are, who you love, or where you are on your journey, you are welcome here, in person or online. May each of you know you are welcome in this house of peace, and may our worship and fellowship this morning touch your heart, mind, and spirit. Welcome to our celebration of community.
Tony. David Augsburger wrote, "Being heard is so close to being loved that the average person does not know the difference." Being heard is so close to being loved that the average person does not know the difference. This is a service about presence. We talked about being present to source a couple of weeks ago, being present to self, being present to the world. We're going to explore being present to one another. And what better way to invite us into that, but to invite us into it through song. When our heart is in a holy place is an invitation, actually, to be present to source, to self, and to one another. I invite you to rise in body or spirit and sing with me. Indeed, my heart feels like it's in a holy place already. With Jamie's playing and your singing and your presence, I'm bringing us together. I call us into worship this morning with words by Joan Javier Duval. Here is where you can lay it down. Lay down all that you've carried, the weight of the world that has rounded your back, leaving you aching and exhausted. Here is where healing begins, where burdens set down alongside one another's, their magnitude does not seem as great. Here is where the door is thrown open and the light can lift away the shadows and what was hidden can be seen. Here is where you can rest. Here is where you can rest. Nothing is expected, but that you bring all of who you are into the presence of the holy and of this loving community. Come, let us worship. It is good to be together.
Our chalice lighting words are by Eric Walker Wickstrom. Here, today, in this place, with these people, may we listen so that we can hear. May we hear so that we can feel, so that we can know. And may we know so that we can change ourselves and this world. May this chalice we light our way.
Good morning. Our story today is titled, You Hold Me Up. And I picked it because church and this community is a place where you can be lifted up and when you need to be held up. This book is written by Monique Gray Smith. She's a Canadian writer of children's and young adult literature, and she is also an international speaker and consultant, and she is of Cree, Lakota, and Scottish descent. And the illustrator is Danielle Daniel, and she also has a family link to Indigenous ancestors. You hold me up when you are kind to me. When you share with me. When you learn with me. You hold me up when you play with me. When you laugh with me. When you sing with me. When you listen to me. When you respect me. I hold you up we hold each other up. The end. I think it's just me, but.
Thank you so much, Pam. Tony. I love long periods of silence. Once in my last congregation, I invited folks into silence, but I didn't say how long it would be. And it stretched because it just felt like the silence was so full of what people had brought and the presence of spirit and love in the room. So we sat and we sat and we sat. Now, if you're with the Buddhist group, you can sit for a long time, right, Lenny? But sometimes in our congregations, we're not used to that much silence. So after about 5 minutes, someone said, "Did she fall asleep?" Out loud, they said that. Is she awake? The silence brings us again to the places where we connect to source, to self, and brings us to the opportunity to share with one another. I invite you into another practice of breathing right now as we sing the meditation on breathing. There's a drone that goes breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe breathe out, and then there's a melody. And I invite you to sing either one. It's number 109 in your hymnal if you need it. Breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. When I breathe in, I breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I breathe out love. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. And so as we consider being present to one another, at Joys and Sorrows is a time that we can be present to what it is that each of us bring on our hearts. In a moment, we'll have a time of sharing joys and sorrows. There's pebbles, each one is unique, signifying the uniqueness that you each are. And we drop a pebble in the bowl, reminding us that we're held in community. And a reminder that pebbles can be dropped in silence. So if you have a joy or a sorrow that you'd like to share, I invite you to come up and share it in a word or a phrase so that you can be seen and held.
I'm Tony. I dropped a green pebble because it's the closest thing I could find to an opal, which is my mother Harriet's favorite stone. But I wanted to, she asked me to thank the congregation for all the support, all the cards, all the visits, and I'm letting you know that she is working her way through rehab, and it's going well so far, so we hope to see her smiling face back here soon.
Hi, I'm Susan. I dropped 2 pebbles. One is for my Aunt Joyce, who passed away this week at the age of 85. She'd been ill for a number of weeks. And the other is part joy. My husband's birthday was Friday. Part sorrow. He's dealing with some very severe unexplained pain, and we're trying to figure out what's going on, and he has an MRI on Tuesday. So if you could send some healing thoughts his way, we'd appreciate it.
Hello, I'm Julia. I just wanted to let this congregation know that you are the best singing congregation I've ever seen in this church, and you need to know that. And you're such good sports.
Hey, I'm Matt, and after 5 months of being unemployed, this week I signed a job offer, and I start on the 30th.
I'm Darren, and I'm sharing a joy that Frankie, you may recall, the little guy, about 10 years old, was really struggling. Well, he's been home for about 3 weeks, and he has 95% of his mobility back now. That's the Kuczynski family.
for those joys and sorrows, for those spoken and unspoken. Hold another moment of silent reflection. Spirit of life, Spirit of love, Holy One moving in, through, and among us. We pause in this moment, all that we've heard, all that we know that is held in hearts. As we move through this week, through our days, may you remember, whether you have shared or not, that you are held in community, known, seen, held in the possibility of who you are and in the totality of who you are. And you, each of you, know this. You are always and everywhere held in love and mystery deeper than you can know.
Hello, my name is Matt Brown, and I'm here to talk to you about Soul Matter Covenant Groups. How's your soul been? Not good. How often does someone in your life ask you this question and then give you the space to talk about it? How often have you asked this question to somebody else? When I joined my first UU congregation, I learned how covenant groups provide opportunities to ask questions like this and are a fantastic tool for us as UUs to grow in our spiritual lives. But before I learned that, I really struggled to find my way in our faith. When I was a teenager, my parents suddenly decided to stop going to Catholic Mass and helped start a small, non-denominational Christian church in our town. This church had a very active youth group, a philosophy of treating teenagers like adults and including us in Bible studies and other theological and spiritual groups. I got to grow up in a small community that shared their journey of faith with each other. But as I'm sure was the experience with a lot of you, as I started to get ready to enter college, I grew very frustrated with Christianity. I was over here trying to follow the tenets of faith that I believed in, like loving and accepting other people for who they are. Meanwhile, my church was really struggling with issues like, should our openly gay members of the church be allowed to speak in front of the congregation? What caused me to finally leave church and my faith was going to Catholic confirmation. This was something my parents were really pushing for me. If you're not familiar, confirmation is a rite of passage in the Catholic Church where it marks one's commitment to Catholicism as an adult. In confirmation class, we're presented with the catechism, which is a series of questions and answers that lays out theological doctrine that we're expected to believe and follow, leaving no room for questioning or for doubt. I can't tell you what else they teach in that class because I quit after the first one. And I didn't go to church again for over a decade. That is until I started attending church at my local UU congregation in Arlington, Virginia. It was an incredibly refreshing place to walk into. It's a community of faith who believed in the inherent worth and dignity of all humans, who fight for and believe in justice, who care for the earth. But how is my soul doing? How is the part of me that connects with myself and with other people and with the world around me? I wasn't sure how to continue my spiritual journey at this new UU church because I had no idea where to start or which direction to go. I was seeking a deeper connection and presence and wasn't sure where to find it. So when you grow up in the Christian faith, your spiritual life is like a huge boat. Everyone is going in the same direction. Everyone on the boat speaks the same language. They use the same terminology to discuss their spiritual life. They have the same spiritual practices. In some ways, being on this boat is very comforting. I didn't have to know the mechanics of how things work. I can just show up and do what people tell me. Everyone around me was using similar spiritual tools, and they were prescribed by priests and pastors. But I left that boat and was on my own with no guidance, no one around to instruct me where to go. It felt incredibly lonely to be drifting off by myself in a vast sea of spiritual possibility. I spoke to my minister about this, and she recommended that I join a Soul Matters group. Soul Matters covenant groups have two components: monthly meetings and a packet called Soul Matters. Soul Matters packet follows the same theme as our Sunday services. During a meeting, we start with a check-in where everyone talks about what's going on with their lives. You answer the question, how has your soul been? Each person gets equal time to talk without interruption. Then we spend the rest of our time talking about what each of us discovered from exploring the packet. The packets provide several resources for spiritual exercise and growth. There's music, poetry, crafts, journaling prompts, activities. Each person in the covenant group chooses how to interact with the packet, and then when we come together, we talk about what we did and how it resonated with us. It's not meant to be a discussion about theology. Instead, each member is getting equal time to share their experience and feelings within an expectation of safety and confidentiality. You get the chance to be heard. You get the chance to hear other people. As I started attending one of these groups, I realized that I wasn't out alone in this sea of spirituality. I realized that all around me were other boats, different shapes, sizes, but we traversed the ocean of faith in different ways. We were traveling together. The group gave me structure that I needed to explore and deepen my spiritual life. It gave me others to listen to and be present with while I shared my experiences, and also let me be present with them and learn from their experiences. I'd very much like to travel on this journey of faith with all of you, which is why I'm starting a Soul Matters small group ministry at UCH. If you want to know more about it, you can ask me downstairs during coffee hour. And then also Reverend Beth and I will be holding a informational and demonstrational covenant group session after service on January 12th. Thank you very much.
Of course Tony got it. Oh, man. Well, and we can just say now, sorry, that Matt is our soul man. Oh, Matt. Thank you for bringing, I've got a little bit to say, yeah. Thank you for bringing that to us. Just to let you know, there's another small group that meets that had started to use the Soul Matters packet once we brought Soul Matters to the congregation. And there are other, small groups, again, not discussion groups, but places to deepen, like our Buddhist study group and things. So the hope is that you'll join us on the 12th and learn about it, have the experience. I want to say that these groups, Matt's groups, will be in person. And if there is interest in an online group, then I will lead that group and we'll have other people to help facilitate, hopefully down the road. This is what is understood as the blessings of community. You could be anywhere on a Sunday morning. You could be lounging. You could have watched Sunday Morning with Jane Paul. It used to be with Charles Corral. Do you remember that, some of you? You could be at brunch. You could just be hanging around. But we come. We come to be seen, heard, known, to know that we are not alone, that our boat is not sailing by itself, that not only are there other boats, there may be other people on your boat. People who have the similar beliefs that you do. And then you know over on the other boat is, oh, there's the Buddhist, say hi to the Buddhist boat. Oh, wait, there's our Christian boat, hi. Wait, there's our Hindu boat. There's our atheist group. Oh, where's our pagan boat? Where's the boat of us just journeying together? What a beautiful metaphor, Matt. In a world that is fraught with danger, with uncertainty, with fear, in a world where the delicate balance of earth, democracy, life itself seems to be threatened, is threatened. Caring for the soul, caring for the self, is a radical act of resistance. In a world that says, go for more money, more prestige, more power, more. Caring for self, connecting to source, connecting with one another is an act of hope. Hope means we don't know the future. I was in a panel yesterday at the Methodist Church in Oak Park, at a panel that was sponsored in part by a group from Oak Park and River Forest students. It was a group on Palestine. There was a rabbi, it was in a Christian church, there were people of different persuasions, there was truth being told, there was a call to solidarity. And in these calls to solidarity, in order to show up in fully who we are, it is helpful to know who we are. Where does life call us? Where is our soul needing to be fed? These are not mutually exclusive enterprises, beloveds. These are the calls of our time. But what do we mean by soul? There's various definitions of soul. A soul is the connection that we have to the universe sometimes. It can be an aspect of imagination. It's the deepest part of us that gets touched not always by words, but last week when we talked about music as a means of grace, how many of you felt your soul touched by Aileen's reflection and Jamie's reflection and the music that we sang and that you sang? It's a place of innerness that then opens us. We as a congregation have been on what I've called the soul's journey through the Celtic Wheel of the Year, deepening in our understandings of who we are and how we move in the world and where are the places that call us to be. I love Soul Matters groups because of the way that we're present to one another. And I will tell you something. Sometimes I hear, well, people have to know each other really well before they'll open up. I've done Soul Matters explorations and practice groups in one program that we're going to be doing, Matt and I, called Starting Point, where it gives an example, an opportunity to experience a small group. People who didn't know each other maybe knew each other, hi, on the patio or in the social hall. And when the space is made, the sacred space that is created by the covenant, the agreement to walk together, to be together, to show up, to each group will develop their own covenant, and to be present, to choose the group, the monthly group, over maybe the invitation to dinner that could be held another night. And it creates a sense of sacred space. And I have seen a depth of sharing, authentic, deep, and an exchange of love, compassion, and understanding that feeds the ministry that we do together. However you are, wherever you are on your journey, find a place where your soul can be fed. Whether it's whether it's the Buddhist group, the Soul Matters, Covenant Circle. For Eileen, it was the choir. You know, the choir breathes before they sing, right? Pardon? You have to. Well, first of all, you have to breathe. I'm just telling y'all right now. But there's a conscious breathing. When I get here in time, I like to breathe with the choir. So there's an opportunity each step of the way for us as a congregation in these times to create sacred space and to create the space to be heard and seen. And then to go into the other groups, the racial equity group, the LGBTQ, a welcoming congregation to the green sanctuary where presence happens. But when we have a small group of people that we've done this work with, we're able to engage and be present in ways that are really profound. These are the blessings of community. The blessings of coming together to be seen and known. And then in the words, I'm going to quote Jean Parvin again, who once, when we held our small group, or it was a small group, but it could have been large, after the election, and he said, but what are we going to do when they start rounding up immigrants? This soul work prepares us to do that work, whatever that work is. To be a beacon of hope and light in a world that calls us to be present to what is. The blessings of community are more than we can name, but a colleague, Douglas Taylor, has a beautiful piece called Blessings of Community. Alone in the world, I was beset with frustration and anger at the world around me. So much injustice and hatred, so little peace and freedom. I longed to make a difference. I struggled against powers and institutions. But my actions seemed insignificant, and my words were drowned out. Then I came into community, a religious community of hope and love. Here I found support and energy, vision and power, the authority of shared witness. The authority of shared witness here is a clue as to where the authority lies in a Unitarian Universalist congregation. Not in the creed, but in the deed and in the shared witness. He goes on, alone in the world, I was beset with sorrow and hurt in my life. So much loss and emptiness, so little hope and understanding. I wept for the pain in my heart. I ached for the hardships I bore, but my tears brought little relief and my burdens grew too heavy. Then I came into community, a religious community of hope and love. Here I found support and compassion, wisdom and grace, and the power of shared suffering, and together we made life sweeter. Alone in the world, I was beset by confusion and emptiness in the soul, so much busyness and pettiness, so little depth or connection. I shriveled inside for the want of real spiritual bonds, and my soul cried out for meaning. Then I came into community, a religious community of hope and love. Here I found support and encouragement, depth and diversity, the power of sharing the journey, and together we saved my life. for all the varied reasons we have that brought us out of loneliness and into community, we give thanks. For the blessings we bestow on one another with our energy, our compassion and prayer, we give thanks. For the blessings we become to others in need, we give thanks, and we remember that we are not alone. Beloved, has your life been made sweeter? Have you found a place from which you can work to savor and save the world? Have you found yourself being saved in religious community again and again and again? The blessings of community have found us all, and if this is your first day, or if you have been here for 60 years, the blessings of community have found you, and you, beloved, are a blessing. By your very presence here, you are a blessing. By the very act of showing up with questions and curiosity, with some of the burdens that Douglas Taylor talks about, or how about the joy that you bring that becomes a blessing for others, we are asked to bless the world. The blessings of community has found us all. Wonderful, this being in community. I look around, and other than a few of you, I'm about the newest person here. Coming about a year and 8 months ago now. And I think of how I have been blessed with a call to serve and to be served in this shared ministry, because really that's what Matt's been talking about, is a shared ministry. Whether it's for the first or the 1,000th time you came, earnestly, each and all making your way, seeking the blessings of community. Again, even if you didn't feel alone or longing for more, we come together and we ask, what matters? These are the questions of a religious community. A community where we put love at the center. Of our values, love is at the center. Now, some people say love is just kind of a mushy feeling. Well, love is a feeling that manifests itself in various ways. Love is also a state of being, and love is also action. When we embody our values of justice and equity and transformation, knowing that I might be on one boat this year or at this point in my life, but you know what? Somebody else's boat might look really good. And I might just say, you know, can I just jump over onto your boat? And then sometimes y'all need a lifeboat, right? So we come. Justice, equity, transformation, pluralism in our diversity. Matt chose this beautiful image, by the way. I need to give Matt props for this image. And Matt said there are multiple boats. What does that mean? That is our value of pluralism. As we strive for a multicultural, multiracial, pluralistic democracy and its hope, we here embody a pluralism that allows us to live our prophetic gift to the world. The value of interdependence. We know that everything is connected. Each of us on this blue boat home. I remember seeing the earth from space for the first time. Remember, some of you don't remember. You don't remember the first time that you saw it, do you? I know who you are, but I did. My mama made me come in the house. Seriously, she made me come into the house. You sit there and watch that. This is important. Because I was just like outside, and then there it was, the earth from space, right? And that sense of hope that I had even as a child, that maybe if we could see ourselves all as pilgrims on this blue boat home, something could change. And then when Carl Sagan had Voyager turn the camera on to the earth way from space, and it was a pale blue dot, and gave us our sense of where we are in the universe. Imagine interdependence, interconnectedness lived fully. And generosity, the value of generosity that we share, not only in our collection, which we share with a nonprofit every month, that's good, but the generosity that we extend to one another, the generosity that we extend to those who come find our way to our doors, and the generosity that we share and bring out into the world, a generosity of spirit, a generosity of hope, a generosity of love, a generosity of imagination, a generosity of possibility. May it be so. I invite you to join me in our chalice extinguishing words, which I have not changed the phoenix from that service, because y'all, let us be the phoenix rising. Please join me. We extinguish this flame, not the light of truth, the warmth of this community, and the fire of our commitment. These we share in our hearts and share with all the world. Now, there was no way to do this service with Matt and for us to not sing Blue Boat Home. Invite you to rise in body or spirit, and that is number 1064 in your teal hymnal. So sing. Carried on the waves of ocean love and possibility. As we leave from this place, may you remember, all of us remember who and whose we are, belonging to one another, belonging to the source of life, belonging to love.